Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Encino Neighborhood Council's Candidate Forum. Thank you for being here. My name is Jennifer Goldstein. I'll be your moderator. Thank you for joining us as we meet some of the candidates running for the Encino Neighborhood Council. Los Angeles is home to the largest grassroots civic engagement system in the nation, our neighborhood councils. These councils are made up of volunteers who represent and advocate for the needs of their communities on issues like development, transportation, public safety, homelessness, and more. The candidates you'll hear from this afternoon are running for positions on the Encino Neighborhood Council, or the ENC, and if elected, will serve as your voice in the city. This afternoon's forum is designed to give you a chance to hear directly from these candidates, learn about their priorities, and get a sense of who they are. It's a very simple format. Each candidate will do three things. They will first introduce themselves for 1 minute. There are then two questions, and they're given 2 minutes each. The first question is on why they're running, and the second is how they would address key challenges facing Encino. And I will read those questions for the candidates as we go through. I'll guide us through the order, and timing will be managed behind the scenes to keep everything on track. We ask all candidates to keep their responses within the time limits, be respectful, and focus on the issues. And try not to be too distracted by the adorable baby getting fed. It feels like an unfair advantage of cuteness. With that, let's get started by meeting our candidates. We have first up for Area 1 would be Dana Caruso, but Dana is not present. That takes us to our second candidate for Area 1, Josh Sauter. Josh, am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
It's actually Sauter.
Sauter, I'm sorry, Josh Sauter. And question 1 is the introduction. Let me read this. Please introduce yourself, Josh, by sharing your full name, how you are connected to Encino as a stakeholder, and tell us something about yourself, including what you love most about Encino.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Jennifer. My name is Josh Sauter, and I am the current president of the Encino Neighborhood Council and the Area 1 representative. And I'm running for re-election. I'm proud to call Encino home. I live here with my wife, our 2 young children, sons. One of them is right here in my lap, and our giant, lovable English Mastiff named Gus. We moved to Encino just over 2.5 years ago. We live in Encino Village, a mid-century neighborhood that feels a lot like Mayberry, charming, welcoming, and filled with wonderful people. And what I love most about Encino is actually the community itself. I've lived all over the country in big cities and small towns, but I've never experienced the kind of connection, warmth, and neighborly spirit that I found here. I know all my neighbors, and even more than that, I genuinely like them all. And that's why I'm passionate about continuing to serve the community and working to make sure Encino remains such a wonderful place to live. Thank you.
So question number 2. What inspired you to run for this specific seat, Area 1, on the Encino Neighborhood Council? And what unique skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help you serve both the council and the Encino community effectively?
Thank you so much for the question. What inspired me to run for re-election in the area to be the Area 1 representative of the Neighborhood Council is simple. It is my home, and I want to keep strengthening the bonds that make it special. When my family moved to Encino Village just over 2 years ago, I didn't know anyone. So I did what any neighbor would do. I walked the streets with my wife and our baby and our big dog, meeting people, talking to folks at Balboa Park. And I realized how much I love the community and how much more connected we could be if someone took the lead bringing people together. So that's why I ran for this seat. Um, since then, I've worked to create those connections. Early on, after 2 neighbors were burglarized just a week apart in my neighborhood, I helped create a neighborhood watch. But it wasn't just about adding security cameras or more patrols. It was about building relationships because the safest neighborhoods aren't the ones with the most police. They're the ones where people know each other and look out for each other. And I'm proud to say that in 2 years, we haven't had a single burglary. When the fires from the Palisades threatened Encino, I used the Encino email platform to send real-time updates to every subscriber in our neighborhood. I put my phone number out there in an email, and I took hundreds of calls from people asking what to do, where to go. I even opened my home to some people from the neighborhood who needed shelter. That's who I am. I don't wait for someone else to step up. I believe in being the neighbor who's always ready to help. I'm also a writer. I tell our community stories once a month in the Encino Enterprise, and I make sure that our voices are heard with local leaders from the city council to the mayor's office. Encino is a place I'm proud to call home, and I believe that when we know each other, when we support each other, and when we show up for each other, that's when a neighborhood becomes a true community, and that's why I'm running.
So question 3.
Mhm.
What do you see as the most pressing challenges currently facing Encino, and how would you work to address them through the role you're seeking on the council?
Again, a really great question. Um, a lot of people think that when they think about the biggest challenges to Encino, they'll list crime, traffic, homelessness, or housing, and those are all obviously very real concerns. But I actually believe that there's a deeper, more fundamental issue at the root of so many of these problems, and it's a loss of community and connection. We're living in a time where people feel more isolated than ever. Fewer people are joining things, whether it's the PTA, a neighborhood group, or even just having a regular conversation with their neighbors. I believe that this disconnection is at the heart of so many of the issues that we face, um, not just here in Encino, but across our society. And I truly believe that rebuilding that sense of community is the key to making everything else better. When people know each other, when they really know each other, not just waving across the street, but sharing meals, conversations, and trust, it changes everything. In my own neighborhood, as I said, we built a strong neighborhood watch and we haven't had a burglary in over 2 years. When you ask police officers what is the most effective tool to reduce crime, many will say that it's not more patrols, but it's neighbors knowing one another and looking out for each other. Political scientists will tell you the same thing about democracy. It thrives when people trust one another, and trust starts with connection. That's where I come in. I believe that civic engagement, because I believe in civic engagement because I believe it brings people together. When people are connected through events, through shared causes, through the neighborhood council, they care more, they show up more, and they work together more. It's not just a theory. I've seen it happen. This year, we had more than 5 times the number of people registered to vote in this election than in any other previous neighborhood ENC election. We have 38 candidates, way more than ever before. And it's not just a coincidence. It's the result of a year of hard work, welcoming people in, bringing them in, and making sure they felt like they belonged. Connection is my superpower. And I believe that we can all do it and that it's going to build a safer and stronger and more vibrant Encino. Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead
Thank
and I'm
you.
going to read the names of the candidates for the other areas, even though they're not present, just for the record. So for area 2, we have Adam Wright. Am I correct that Adam is not on the call?
Yeah, he is not, he's out of the country, so.
Area 3, Shane D. Schwiebel, also not on the call, which brings us to area 4, Joanna C. Power. So Joanna, I'm so happy you're here. Please introduce yourself by sharing your full name, how you are connected to Encino as a stakeholder, and tell us something about yourself, including what you love most about Encino.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad that I was able to squeeze in the forum because I've been running around through all over Encino and the Valley today with a bunch of community events I had planned. But my name is Joanna Power. I've been living in Encino now for 4 years. One of the biggest things that I love about Encino and that I noticed as soon as I moved in here was there was a neighborly feeling. There was conversations had on the street, wave hello, full on conversation in the parking lot of Ralph's just down the street. So I really like that kind of vibe. It really meshes well with the person that I am because I love to talk. I would joke around all the time. I could have a full on conversation with a tree if I could. So I like to connect. So that's one of the things I like about Encino. Oh, I think my time's gonna be up.
Wonderful. Question 2.
The fanfare.
Question 2. What inspired you to run for this specific seat on the ENC, and what unique skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help you serve both the council and the Encino community effectively?
Thank you. What inspired me to run was I like to volunteer. I like to do a lot of community outreach, community events. In my professional life, I've worked 12 years with the Los Angeles Unified School District. So I've been in a professional setting during that. I've also worked with the transportation department for the school system. I've also been a 911 dispatcher for 8 years with Los Angeles Police Department. And I recently promoted to a position with Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. So I've always done some kind of uh, community type of professional work. That's just always been a passion of mine, but I've always been wanting to do something on the side. So a lot of the times I tend to do things more geared towards animals, like I'll volunteer at the animal shelter. I'll do TNR, trap and release with the stray cats to keep the control the population of the cats, the feral cats. So stuff like that. I just like to be involved with as much as I can. Um, and then also Lori posted the information on our Buy Nothing Encino Facebook group, which I'm pretty big on that group. I love the whole purpose of the group is to reuse things that we don't want to throw away necessarily, kind of lessen the landfills a little bit. So I love that. And I feel like that's really gotten me a chance to get to know a lot of the neighbors here in Encino. And it's just been a great opportunity to be able to be here and kind of provide whatever resource that I can with my city background, with my police department background, just anything that I could to try to raise awareness in the city, try to promote public safety, and just to do more outreach. Oh, I still have a few seconds. Sorry, for some reason, 2 minutes feels like a long time,
Good, you got a lot in, and thank you for the shout out to BNP as the admin for one of the admins for BNP Encino. I appreciate that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So, question 3, what do you see as the most pressing challenges currently facing Encino, and how would you work to address them through the role you're seeking on the council?
The pressing challenges that I see will be, again, my background is more geared towards public safety. Something like driving down Burbank and the trees are blocking the tri-light. Sometimes maybe you might not be aware of it, but me working in the public sector for so long, I'm just like, oh, I know who to call to get that fixed. There's a pothole on the street, like, oh, we got to get that reported, because if the city doesn't know about it, they don't know to come and fix it. And a lot of the times I feel like the public doesn't have that type of knowledge, that there's plenty of resources out there that the city provides. But all we need to do is just ask. We can ask for clearing the streets, clearing up the sewage to make sure that when the rainy season comes, there's no flooding within the streets, kind of plan ahead. Another big thing that I have seen in the community is private property, commercial properties. A lot of the time when they don't get sold quick enough, I understand the economy is a little rough right now, so they kind of just get left aside, and then that's how we start having issues with it brings down the property value to a lot of the community. So one thing that I would like to do is kind of hold these commercial properties, the owners accountable for that. They're also a part of the community, and they should also be investing in our neighborhood as well by at least, fencing them up or cleaning up the area. The unhoused, I know, is a big topic, a hot topic. And I also know a lot of resources to be able to help them as well. So that's something that I would like to be able to provide, even if it's going on and having a conversation with a couple of people, just saying, hey, what kind of help can we provide? This is the neighborly thing. And like Josh had mentioned, it feels like for a long time, we haven't had this neighborly feeling. And now it's like, people are coming out of that pandemic wave and everything. So it's like, all right, come on, everybody, let's get back together. Let's get some work done, because that's how things get done in the city. Let's get together and get some work done.
Thank you, Joanna. Everyone is doing such a good job of being like exact with the timing. It's wonderful. So thank you so much for sharing all about yourself and those responses. That brings us to Area 5. For Area 5, we have Diane Rosen, who does not appear to be on the call, and Mia Levy Am I saying your name correctly? Okay, Mia Levy, who is up next. So Mia, please introduce yourself by sharing your full name, how you are connected to Encino as a stakeholder, and tell us something about yourself, including what you love most about Encino.
Unlike it seems most of the people here, I've lived in Encino with my husband and family for over 40 years. So I'm not new to the area. Obviously, I love it here. We haven't moved far. We've lived here. We own a business here called Child's World School. We've owned that preschool for over 30 years now. So with that, we've come to know many, many families in Encino and are sensitive to their needs and what sort of makes Encino hum. We've enjoyed that very much. I love the neighborhood feel of Encino. I love being able to be friends and go out to lunch with people in our cul-de-sac and people on different cul-de-sacs. I love going to Uncle Bernie's and just having a small town feel, running into so many people that you know when you get there. You always have to make sure you look decent because people, oh my goodness. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Sorry.
Well, you can add it, whatever else you would like to say into your responses for the next
Fine,
question. So question 2, what inspired you to run for this specific seat on the Encino Neighborhood Council, and what unique skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help you serve both the council and the Encino community effectively?
So because I've been here for so long, I see the progress Encino has made, but I also see the challenges. And I do feel a responsibility to try to step up and solve some of those challenges. I think that as a business owner here with my husband, I have gained leadership skills that are necessary. And I think I also have gained collaborative skills which help me work with others, perhaps of different mindsets, and sort of come to common ground. And I think that that is what I can offer. And that's it. So now I'm going to make up for some time that I went over the last time. But I think it's my collaborative skills and my leadership skills that will make me helpful in this position.
Wonderful. So then you just alluded to challenges. That's the question 3. What do you see as the most pressing challenges currently facing Encino, and how would you work to address them through the role you're seeking on the council?
So one of the things that I am very concerned about is public safety and homelessness. At our other school, at our other business in Tarzana, we've been hard hit by the homeless situation there. And in the past 3 years, it's been quite difficult. And I have worked tirelessly with the community there, and we have had some success in solving some of the issues with the homeless facility there. And it's happening here in Encino too, and I would like to put my skills and my experience, my actual experience working with facilities that house the unhoused, and I would like to help out here. And I think I have experience already doing that. Thank you.
Good. Okay.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. Thank you, Mia. So for area 6, we have running Scott Fisher, who is not on the call, and we have Lori Stevens, who is. So Lori, please introduce yourself. Share your full name, how you're connected to Encino as a stakeholder, and tell us something about yourself, including what you love most about Encino.
Okay, hi everyone. My name's Lori Stevens, and I am the current Area 6 rep for the ENC, and I've lived in Encino 18 years, and I grew up in Lake Balboa. So my life has always kind of been in Encino because I grew up with a lot of people that lived here. So yeah, so I've lived here 18 years, and one of the reasons I moved to the hills is because I love the open space in the Santa Monica Mountains. I love to hike and I love to mountain bike up there. So I really love just the proximity to nature that Encino offers. And I love the mid-century architecture. I love the birdhouse ranch houses. You know, I would really love to see us form an Encino Preservation Society, because I really hate to see all the beautiful old houses being torn down. So yeah, and currently I'm the treasurer as well. Okay, resetting the timer.
All right, I'll ask question 2 and then you can finish saying whatever
Okay.
you like as part of that question. So what inspired you to run for this specific seat on the ENC, and what unique skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help you serve both the council and the Encino community effectively?
Okay. Okay, well, what motivated me to run was the traffic situation on my street, because over the past like 7 or 8 years, it became, I lived on a very quiet street, Escalon Drive, and it turned into a freeway kind of overnight, and it motivated me to kind of organize my neighbors. And that was, I didn't even know what the Encino Neighborhood Council was. And then as we got more involved in trying to mitigate the traffic, I learned a lot about local government. And so that's what motivated me. What inspires me to continue, though, is the connection to the community. And, you know, Josh talks a lot about it. We talk a lot about it together. We write about it in our newsletter, of just how important connecting people in community is. And the thing that is interesting about Encino is there are so many little micro groups of neighbors that are advocating for issues that are just things that are on their street. You know, the development that's happening on the corner, or the drainage issues, or the traffic. And we have very motivated grassroots micro groups of neighbors. And what Josh and I have talked about, and other people on the council, has been to try and connect those dots so that we can be a more powerful voice. I think that has been our goal, and I really think we're onto something for Encino, to have a more powerful voice to local government. So that's what we've been working on. That's what I'm really inspired to work on further, and also working on our traffic issues.
Wonderful, thank you. Then finally, question 3, what do you see as the most pressing challenges currently facing Encino, and how would you work to address them through the role you're seeking on the council?
Okay, well, I think we have a few really serious issues that we'll probably be dealing with in the next couple of years. I think the first one for the city is the budget crisis. And you know, what I've seen over the last 10 years is that the city services are being chipped away. Things that we used to see, like brush clearance on the side of the roads, and street services cleaning, and crews taking care of the park. All of those services are being slowly chipped away because of the budget crisis. We see a lot of the civil servants very shorthanded, the LAPD and the DOT. So I think that that's a really big challenge for Encino, as it will be for the rest of the city. And then the two other ones, just real quickly, are, you know, the traffic, the cut through traffic, which I think is just, you know, the nature of our geography to the 101-405 interchange makes us just this epicenter of commuter traffic. And our streets were not designed for that. And that's something that I really want to work on, is that mitigation and calming plan that we are working with the DOT on, and it's going to be implemented in the next probably 6 months. So that, and then the other thing that I just am really concerned about personally, I know crime is a big thing, but my bigger concern is wildfire safety. And I don't think we focus on that enough, because we are a big part of the border of Encino is open space that's prone to wildfire. It hadn't burned in 50 years, so I think it was off a lot of people's radars. But also the Sepulveda Basin is a mess. It's not managed well, and there are fires there every day, and they are close to very dense single family, you know, apartment buildings. You know, we could see a catastrophic fire there too. So I would really like to see our community come together and build a hardening plan for the community. So those are my goals. And those are, but I'm optimistic. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for those responses. For area 7, The candidates running are Andrew Zucker, Landon McGarrigle, and Jennifer Novian. We don't have them present this afternoon. And the homeowner representatives are Roy, I believe it's Neusser. If anyone knows a better way to say that, Roy
No,
Neusser.
that's right. You nailed it. That's
Woo! I'm just rocking and rolling here today. And then Athena Novak. So
I
for
don't
anyone,
see her either. Yeah.
excuse me?
Sorry, I didn't mean to speak. Sorry.
Okay. So there are candidate statements that can be found online if you're interested in getting information on folks who were not present. But otherwise, for everyone who was, thank you so much for being here and for giving your statements and your answers to those questions.